There's a lot of junk in the world, but there's also a lot of good. How do we as parents navigate the huge topic of being part of this world, but not letting it influence our kids negatively? This idea of being in the world but not of the world is straight from the New Testament. Paul in Romans says this, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good, and what is acceptable, and what is perfect." It's pretty obvious that being of the world is not a good thing, and it's something that we as parents don't want to have our kids be so influenced by the world. We don't want them to 1. Lose sight of what's important, 2. Seek after the things that don't last like wealth and other things, 3. Forget their identity as a child of God, and here's the big one, we do not want them to lose their interest in their faith walk, their life with Jesus. We've seen it happen. It's happened to some of us if we're honest. The stuff the world offers is so enticing, but we realize that we can't have two masters. So what then? What do we do? Is the solution to isolate yourselves completely from the world? Do you buy 10 acres of land and live off the grid with no interaction with the world as a family? Do you only have your children interact with kids that go to your church? Do you have them only watch Christian videos? Do you have them read the Bible or church-approved literature only? Or on the other side, do you let them figure it out, living with all types of cultures and backgrounds and influences? Do you let them watch and read whatever they want, text whomever they want, and believe whatever they want with the hopes that they will figure it out on their own? And how protective are you? Are you protective through elementary school or middle school or high school? At what point do you feel like they are adult enough to decide what is good for them, for their hearts and for their faith? It's a pretty big topic that you as a parent need to make a conscious decision about, or it will only default to whatever they want to watch or do. It will always go back to the world if left unchecked. So, what have you done so far? What would you like to do? What makes your decision hard? And have you had much pushback from your children? Have you had any regrets? I would love to know. For us, we found a middle ground that has worked out pretty well, we think. We go to church, we talk about faith stuff as a family. We choose shows together that we think is appropriate. We talk about news and events in the world. The kids read and watch shows and movies that are Hollywood movies, but we always checked the Parents' Guide on IMDb before we do. Now, one regret I do have is how sad I am that we have become so numb to killing and death in movies. I feel like we've lost the preciousness of life. Either way, the best strategy is to talk about it, to pray about it, talk to other parents, talk to pastors. Pray about this, and you will find peace. Yes, in the end, it's up to you. Let the Holy Spirit guide your decisions. Just keep in mind, it's always easier to add than it is to remove when it comes to family decisions like this. But I do believe your kids can be strong witnesses in the world and also be strong Christians. We can influence the world as much as the world tries to influence us. Once again, feel free to leave a comment on what you as a parent have done or what your plans will be when you have kids. And what part of this topic do you think we ought to go deeper in, have a deeper dive? Remember, you are loved by God and lifted up by me and others in prayer. Bye now.